Great. Well, welcome back, everyone, to session 32 of our Pathfinder Second Edition campaign. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Cool. No Joanne today, but should be fine. So if everyone is ready to go, let's just get into it, shall we?
Yeah, no Joanne, all alone.
God damn it. Oh no.
Better not start. This better not start.
I forgot that was the thing. All right. Anyway,
I was fumbling it to try and get it right after you'd said it, but it was too late to then just do it.
Okay.
The timing wasn't there.
Yeah, fair. Well, so in that case, everyone is ready to go. Let's get started. So last we left off, the party, you were travelling through the Scorched Flats, which is this ancient cursed desert in Akate, in the continent of Adna. During your journey, you discovered the Temple of the Ashadi, this ancient site from the Age of Gods, dedicated to the elemental deity Ashad. So you learnt about them. You learnt that there are people cursed by Fandara, and this area is cursed by Fandara for worshipping Ashad. And Ashad gave them the power to survive in this barren desert. So you can assume that they maybe used this hexweave to create that lush grove at the, underneath their temple. Hanira interacted with the hexweave, which caused her to kind of teleport around the place, and then eventually she got eaten by a giant dinosaur, and she was swallowed by the creature, but she made this pact with the hexweave, and the bond gave her the power to kill the monster, the guardian, but also kind of indebted her life to the hexweave, a debt that would need to be paid later. So you continued into the temple, and you came to this large burial chamber, and you found a bunch of prophecies and stuff. And then suddenly skeletons started rising from the floor. You fought your way out. It was a long, grueling fight with quite a lot of skeletons, but you managed to barricade the door and keep them the other side of it in the end. So you return. So you then found that this exit leads to the overworld, and you decided to head back to the main army. But as you traversed the desert, as you walked towards the stack of dirt that was thrown up in the sky by the army's movement, you also noticed that the camp that they had then set up by the time you got there was now kind of on fire, and there's like a big fight happening just outside it. So you've come to a sort of vantage point. The army base is in a sort of big ravine. Well, not really a ravine, but like there's just like a crag with like a large sort of split in the rock that goes up maybe 30 or 40 feet, which is where you're peering over, and you're sort of like peering down into the camp from above. You see the sight that unfolds before you is terrifying. The formidable main force of the army has massed up in ranks and is trying to block off like a large bit of the ravine and the walls that are now sort of like half being pushed over. People are like carrying buckets of water back and forth. There's probably about 4,000 or 5,000 troops on the actual front line fighting. And then there's a whole bunch of troops just doing things in the background, just sort of organizing. But you see this absolute mass of skeletons starting to engulf the army camp, and it's now like sort of going around the camp itself. There currently is a way that you could get down into the camp if you wanted, but your exit may be cut off because in a matter of minutes, the skeletons are probably going to mass all their way around and then completely surround them.
This wasn't the camp that we came from originally, was it?
No, you came from the forward scouting camp,
right?
Which was Tor Elian's responsibility. This is the main force of the army that is traveling. So the skeletons that you see before you, they're all mostly skeletal warriors, similar in terms of armament and look to the ones you found in the temple. They're wearing these sort of bronze, ancient bits of armor that are just sort of kind of just attached to their body. It's quite hard to tell how it's staying on. Maybe it's magical. And they've got like maybe spears. Some of them have like sickles. Some of them have just like whatever they have to hand. And their numbers are so vast, looking down at them, that it seems to form a sifting, kind of undulating landscape of bone under the harsh sort of desert sort of atmosphere. It's coming into evening now, so the moon's starting to come out. So it's giving a bit of a as the last of the sun is dropping behind the horizon. The moon is sort of giving a like their armor is like glinting in the moonlight. So there's this cacophony of clashing weapons, anguished cries, and then the relentless, almost kind of silent but kind of eerie, hollow rattling of the undead is filling the air. As you're, yeah. So I mean, what? Does someone want to give me a perception check?
Sure,
looking
I'll go
down?
ahead and do it. Perception. $22.
So as you're looking down, the elves look like they're struggling. There's a lot of skeletons here. They're probably like outnumbered at least 4 or 5 to 1, potentially. And there's more skeletons joining the fray all the time. The skeletons, so Vanel, your perception check. You see a few of the skeletons coming out of the nearby ravines. Like there's like crags in the rock. So some of them are just climbing up like bits of crags. Some of them are coming out of like cave entrances. Some of them are just seemingly popping their way out of the dirt itself. There's like the sand. So they seem to be coming kind of out of everywhere. This probably isn't part of the same force that, I mean, it depends how big the ultimate force is, but this is probably a disparate like group of skeletons that have now come together here. It's not the same group that was at the temple, probably.
Fuck. Is there like a main force, like a main force coming out of like a specific cave, or is it all just one big wave coming from everywhere?
Yeah, it's quite hard to tell because now at this point the skeletons have massed up enough to make a big like army, and now all the skeletons that seem to just be popping individually out of the ground or like out of ravines and stuff are just joining the fray. So it doesn't look like they're necessarily coming from one place. And you didn't see how the first force got here, so it was quite, yeah, you can't quite tell whether there was like a big group that came out of the ground at first or whether it's just sort of like skeletons that just keep joining.
Fuck. What's the play, everyone?
It's all our fault.
Yeah, I think we may have fucked up.
Yeah.
Look, I haven't seen much in the way of war before, but does this army have any chance?
We need to ensure it does. Because this is our main force. Like, we can't just fucking rock up to Ignis with the scout camps.
Well, could the army of the undead be used as a substitute?
Yeah, let's go just walk down and say, "Hey, chaps, we're all actually fighting Ignis here."
You hear a sharp whistle, crack your eardrums, and your heads instinctively twirl to the sort of east of you. You see in another little part of the ravine that pops up, just behind like a boulder, you see an elven scout waving over at you and sort of is like saying, "Come over here." He's hiding behind one of the rocks, and he's also looking over at the army fighting in the distance.
Before you say anything, this has absolutely nothing to do with us. Just want to put that out there.
It absolutely has everything to do with us.
Shh.
The scout looks over at the army and then dashes over to where you are. he sort of collapses behind the rock, panting, holding a bow in one hand and a couple of arrows in another. He reaches over and goes to shake your hands and says, Loris, his name.
Hello,
And
Loris.
archery is your game. What's the play, Loris?
I've come from the forward. I've come from the forward scouts under Torelian's control. I recognised you.
We're rather
How's-
distinctive.
How's the situation there?
It seems a little bit better, but not great. They managed to barricade themselves into a cave.
Oh,
They sent me out to try and get some assistance, but I think it's not getting any better here.
Hmm.
is there like a main force coming from somewhere? Do you know where it is they're coming from?
They seem to be coming out of the cracks in the ground. This desert, it is cursed.
Is there a way to close those up?
Yeah, he shakes his head. He doesn't know. He says, I think they're screwed." Pointing down to the army. You see, the scout is like a sort of quite lithe figure, quite skinny, clothed in sort of worn desert garb. So like, not the standard not the standard elven soldier look. Like more wearing like white, like a white kind of robe and like a headgear. He says, "We can try and go back to the other scouts, but there's only probably about 200 in that cave."
We can't exactly rock up to Ignis with like 200. We need to find a way to get them unscrewed. Otherwise, we're going to be a whole different other kind of screwed.
Well, I do not mean to be crass, but I think the only thing we could do is put, kind of point towards Hanera. Put it back where it belongs.
That might be a good idea.
I don't think that's possible.
Torval Kane says, "And there's now probably hundreds of thousands of skeletons in between us and that temple."
True. I guess we're just screwed then.
Looking down at this army, is there anywhere? Is there anywhere in like the skeletons surrounding the army that they could potentially like break through and flee?
Yeah. So there's so currently most of the army are obviously they're defending the camp. So there is a way out of the camp, in and out of the camp currently, that is being held off by like a couple of auxiliary forces that are just trying to stop the skeletons from completely engulfing them. But you notice that as the skeletons are getting closer and closer, you're seeing more and more people like fleeing out the gaps, and going into the desert. But they're not bringing any supplies with them; they're just running. So there's a few deserters. Most of them are staying, but yeah, you could, or if there was some organized sort of retreat through that gap, maybe it might be possible. But like obviously, as time goes on, the skeletons are going to keep closing it.
Do you have any signal arrows or anything we could use to get their attention?
What about? And Kels was just going to point to Hanera's chest. What about that?
What as a distraction?
Well, what if we could lure the skeletons away? Depends what
Oh
they're...
god. You want all of them after us?
Yeah, Isolde Mayan, who's looking over, she sits down and says, "This would be our perfect opportunity to just get out of here. We could go to Lenora."
I have to agree, I don't really like that plan.
That's right.
Seems
Lenora.
incredibly dangerous.
If the skeletons see us, it's already late.
What about Ignis? We can't just let him get away with everything.
I feel like the House Rexus, they will have to make do. We'll have to make do. None of us are from this house.
As if that should even matter. Is there
Hey. Now is not the time for this, no?
Is there like a canyon the skeletons are between?
No. So I don't really know how to. I could draw it on a map maybe. Just imagine like on the south, there is a sort of like 30 or 40 foot kind of cliff that goes up. It's like a crack in the earth, and then below it is where the camp is, and then there's another sort of smaller little ravine on the other side. So the base itself is kind of in a kind of canyon / ravine. And the skeletons are mostly pouring in from one side, but they're just sort of like starting to engulf it. And some skeletons are also pouring in from the other side as well. But currently there is more of a gap on the outside of the base, on the east side of the base. Sorry, the west side of the base rather than the east side of the base.
Is there a way we could possibly collapse one of the ravines? Create some kind of landslide, give people an out.
It may buy some time. I do have these. The scout goes into his bag and brings out like these kind of. It kind of looks like a little kind of golden, like fruit of some sort. It's got a little button on the top.
And then you're the bomb guy. What do you reckon?
That could work.
I think it.
They seem to be sort of elvish destruction charges of some sort, like for clearing obstacles.
I think if we manage to collapse on one side, the skeletons are going to want to close in around there, and that would weaken the way out. Get more people out.
It would also make a ramp up to us, potentially.
We can outrun him. Blow it.
We are a smaller force. Smaller force means quicker.
Yeah, those skeletons ain't quick. Only reason there is they seem to be coming up everywhere.
As you're looking down at the skeletons, you notice that they all suddenly stop in the attack, and they all begin to take a few steps back. You hear a few elf captains shouting orders, "Hold the line!" And as the skeletons begin walking back more and more, you see the elves sort of having now fought for quite a while and get the frontliners getting quite exhausted, begin to pull back a number of injured and replace the gaps in the line. The skeletons are just standing there, maybe 10 meters away, just in a big mass, just staring at them. You then watch as they begin to, as just one unit, make a gap, like a walkway in the center of them. And you see one skeleton step out from somewhere within the middle and just begins walking up the walkway. As it gets a bit closer in your view, you sort of see that this skeleton's dressed slightly differently. Probably a bit taller, like maybe like a good foot taller than the rest of the skeletons. And emerging from the ranks like a grim spectre of death, you see a figure of palpable malice assumes command. A king, once a creature of flesh and blood, now reduced to bone and dark magic. His skeletal form is adorned with tattered remnants of royal vestments, an ancient tarnished crown resting atop his skull. His eye sockets blaze with an otherworldly green fire, an unnerving display of arcane power that casts eerie, flickering shadows across his bony visage. In one hand, he wields a staff, twisted and gnarled, and it pulsates with the same green fire that burns in his eyes. He brings it in front of him, and just pops it into the ground. Just like donk onto the ground. And then suddenly a crack just emerges straight out of the staff. Similar to how this a lot of the crags and the ravines have been formed. A crag just opens up, sparked with elemental green fire. The ground flares and just begins to open up right in front of the army camp.
It's just like a fissure they could fall in, or
Yeah, like the fissure is opening up. You watch as it's making its way quite quickly toward, like it makes it like, because it's going down this walkway that's in the middle. And then you watch as a few of the elves begin to just get out of the way because they can see this coming as well, and like the entire line just breaks open as basically a large crack in the ground begins to open up, maybe a fissure of like maybe a meter or so, but you see a few elves get caught into it and they just fall in. Who knows how far it goes, and there's just like sort of a green glow coming from the bottom of it, and maybe the occasional lap of green fire shooting out. The air crackles with raw destructive energy as the spell wreaks havoc. And then you notice where this fire is coming out, it's going quite far into the camp itself, like into the center of the camp, and it's just now caused this absolute rift and split the elven army in half.
Well, that's
So
really not good.
So there is about half of the elves are now kind of close to where you are, but now they're basically trapped. Like where the crack has gone, it's gone into the camp and then come to the part of the cliff ravine where you were at. So they're actually on like a little like they're cut off now. They'd have to jump over the ravine, or they'd have to climb up to where you are. The other half just are slowly like being pushed back now as the skeletons just like start moving forward again. But there's probably like maybe 2,000 or 3,000 elves just below you at this point that you potentially could try and save.
how far below?
Like 30 feet ish. Like you'd have to like, I mean, you'd have to get their attention and then also use those charges to make a sort of ramp if you wanted to try and get them to evacuate up there.
Would just one of those explosives to work as a ramp?
We need
to create a ramp.
We'd need to set 2 at least. I could do 1. Someone else could do another.
We need to get the skeletons away from that area, though. We need some form of distraction. Is there like some kind of like firework or something we have, or
I mean,
signal arrows?
probably make something.
And Eric can do a fireball.
Dancing lights.
We need to get the skeletons like their full attention. We can't. We need something big.
Why would they care about us, though, no? Like, and what then? They see us, they do what?
It's a much juicier target for them right there.
But they'd have to cross the ravine, right, as well, like...
Which is why we'd need to go around closer to them. Create a distraction.
And
Plus, I thought we were making an escape, not trying to bait the skeletons over here to kill these guys that are penned in.
There's got to be some way to get them away from the men beneath us.
There may not be.
And what then? Do we just carry on being the underdogs and letting Ignis roll over everything?
All right. So
No,
let me
but we live and have pain.
let me kind of draw what's going on then. So like, just imagine these are like just bits of ravine wall, and the gaps in them are like just bits of dune you can like walk up and get to a higher elevation. And then it's the same like over here as well. So you guys, let's say you guys are here. There's a block of elves here who are just holding off skeletons coming from this way. And skeletons are like pouring in from this way, and the camp is here. So like they're sending them in, but like you know occasionally skeletons are just coming like walking around this way and just like sort of going down. And then yeah, so in total, like where you guys are watching over, there's probably it's like 30 feet height elevation. There's probably about 2,000 elves blocking this bit. The crag is like here, and then there's like another block of elves here. So the crag is sort of like coming into the camp like this, right? So all these elves here are getting cut off, and they're closer to where you are than really getting to the camp. Does that make sense?
So
Right.
the fissure here kind of stops them from going out.
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
out and
exactly.
Up here.
Yeah.
Right. So we could theoretically create a ramp.
Yeah. So if we, bomb it here, make a little ramp, maybe give him a little bit of warning so he crushes as few of them as possible, and hope as many can get out as they can. I think saving the
Yeah.
camp is probably a lost cause at this point.
Yeah. Hang on. Is there any elf within 500 feet?
Yeah, that's it.
Is there like one there that's kind of close to looking like someone in command, like a kind of lieutenant or something?
Yeah, so every like 50 or 60 elves are sort of organized into like a little like fighting unit on the front line. So each one will have like a captain. They all and then they're, like sort of every like 4 of them has like a big standard bearer and like a sort of like a more in charge guy and a drummer and stuff.
All right, I want to find probably the most switched on captain, and I'm gonna point him out. I'm gonna like, I can send that one a message.
Yeah, you see a quite close to you. There is a very well kitted out, very powerful looking noble, who has got a couple of retinue around him. I think one of his guards also has a shade steel blade that is just mowing down quite a lot of the skeletons in this area.
Right,
He's getting like hit every now and again, and also there's also skeletons like firing arrows into the crowd from behind as well.
Okay, I'm gonna point that one out, and I'm gonna be like, I send him a message, give plenty of warning, then we bomb it. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good
to me.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna send him a message and be like, and I'm gonna say, we're above you. We're going to try and create a ramp. You need to get as many men as you can up here. Try not to.
Okay, make a diplomacy check.
Okay, fuck. Diplomacy. 26.
Cool. Okay. You see the captain stop fighting for a moment, and he looks around, and he looks up at you, and you sort of wave over to him, and he sort of shakes his head. He nods. Sorry.
I was gonna say.
No, go away.
I suppose technically nodding is shaking your head. It's just vertically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just anytime you describe someone nodding, he shakes his head vertically.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Loris, is his name? Hang on, Loris. Yes. He takes one of the explosive devices and then looks over at Henning and says, "Fine, you come with me. Let's go."
All right.
And
After you.
notices that you've got like bombs and stuff on you, so it's probably you know more
yeah,
about
it's
that than
shifting.
the rest. It takes you like a minute or so to find a good location. Loris takes out a little shovel and starts burying one of the explosive devices just off the top of the ravine, like sort of over here-ish. And then he points over like 500 feet or so. 500? Like 50 feet or so, and just says, "Over there as well," and then throws you the shovel.
All right, I'll go plant that.
He also says to you, he's got like a little thing. He's like, "Can do it with this." Like you can detonate them with like a button. So you go over. As you are looking over the ravine and you're sort of quite close to the edge, there's a few arrows coming stray. So if you can make me a reflex save, as a number of arrows just like start flying overhead, and you see in the distance a number of spooky skeletal archers firing. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. You don't get hit by them. Loris almost does. He looks over. But once they're planted, it goes back. You can both go back. And then Loris, once everyone returns to the group, he says, "Are we ready?"
I
Yep.
nod.
Yep.
Okay, so he presses this little magical button, and an arcane explosion occurs. It's like blue flames, and shoots clumps of rock into the sky. It scatters quite a lot, and like a lot of kind of shrapnel and bits of rocks fall on a few of the elves, but they're not massive, and they're all wearing helmets and armor, so it's mostly protective. So so you watch as the landslide like brings down a whole bunch of dirt, and a number of the elves turn around and begin to notice it. The captain that you spoke to, he shouts over and starts organizing people to start making their way towards the ramp. So you see the elves are starting to, in good order for now, like filtering. So over time, like the group is sort of like being pushed back like this more and more as the skeletons are encroaching on. A number of the captains and a number of shade wielders are currently at the front, really holding off the vast majority of the skeletons. A few of them have at this point died. You notice that there's maybe like 2 or 3 shade wielders currently who are like at the front, who have been now engulfed as part of the army. Is there anything else anyone wants to do during this bit? It's probably going to take like 10 minutes or so for the army to like in good order like start making their way up the ravine.
Can we like back out? Like, is it? Like, do we just stand there and watch them all come across?
I mean, this is the thing that, like, you've given them an option to leave, but if you're going to stay with the army, then the skeletons are also probably going to stay with you because it's just like a big mass of people. Like you have an opportunity if you wanted to just leave everyone and go. Or
But like, I feel like we've done a good deed here. You know, like.
Sure.
Yeah.
The army knows where they need to go.
Can I throw out another message to just let the guy know where we're going?
Where are we going?
I imagine we're going back to the forward scouting thing, right?
I would think so, yeah. Is there any like rocks or anything you could like maybe just tie a rope to maybe help people like climb up?
Oh yeah, sure. You'd have to lose your rope though.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Probably afford another rope.
Yeah, there's a number of boulders and things that you can just like throw ropes down on the ravine wall, so soldiers can climb up them.
I'm gonna do one as well.
Okay, so for every additional rope that you use, like it'll be considerably more people potentially get saved.
Okay, I mark mine off. Yeah, I don't know how steep the ramp is, so
Yeah,
it
the
might be
ramp
helpful.
ramp's fairly steep and it's loose rock, so like it is
Hmm.
quite slow going up there. Like they have to really like kind of climb up it. But it gives them, it gives them an opportunity out. You begin to see the first few soldiers coming up to where you are. And they're just taking a break and drinking water, and sort of you hear a number of them saying amongst themselves like, "The dead, they've come. It's the day of reckoning."
Yeah, I'm gonna message the noble. We're going to the forward scouting camp. You might want to join us there or something.
Okay. You don't hear a response from him.
Okay. We should probably go.
Right. Yeah, let's head off. Good luck, guys.
We're all counting on you.
Yeah, as you turn around, you notice a couple of skeletons broken loose from the crowd before you, but they are no effort. It's sort of just completely smash as you walk past. Okay, so are you following Loris then?
Yeah. Is he moving fast or slow?
He's not moving particularly slow.
Okay, so he's not slow, Loris.
What's that? Who's that?
No, a terrible joke is what it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So he leads you into like in and out of the ravines for a while. Hang on. We can just go back to some normal music. There's a bit of peace. It's quite peaceful away from the main fight because a number of the skeletons that are here are much lower, especially like weaving in and out of the ravines. Loris says they're only a few miles away.
You know, when I thought it was just a massive mindless army hunting down whatever they could, it was all pretty scary. But the fact they're maybe organised, ooh, that's not so good.
I think we could be able to turn this around.
What, take leader out?
As horrible as it is to see that big guy in charge, we could use that. That's intel. If he has some degree of intelligence, right? Maybe kill him, scatter the others.
Oh, maybe you take him out and the others just crumble.
The High Curator says, that is an interesting thought. I don't know what would happen if their leader was to be destroyed.
Perhaps without leadership, they'll simply, scatter. Go back to the Earth.
He seems to be some kind of magician. Maybe he's keeping them up.
And if you will want to go be heroes, then be my guest. But I value my life, and I do not want to wade into thousands of skeletons. No.
We don't need to wade into thousands. We just need to take down one.
Just a few hundred, not thousands.
I think you're missing something there.
Where's your sense of adventure?
My sense of
The
adventure.
adventure.
Yes, back in my pin that I left back in Port Hedron. Look, I'm here very, very bluntly to make money to see a bit of the world, but I do not need this.
Nah.
Look, I understand you have this vendetta against... You don't know me to say it again, but... You're going to get yourself killed.
That's a line of work. If you're not ready for it.
Everyone dies eventually.
Well, I would like to choose my time in death, and I do not want to follow you through the gates of hell on some half-brained adventure.
I'd follow you through the gates of hell, but you know, I guess we're just not equal on that.
We are already in hell. Have you not seen?
I mean, look, I'm not about to suggest we just like try and wade through a whole army to try and get to one guy that might just kick our asses anyway.
He did look
But it
mighty
is.
himself.
But taking that guy out is something we got to consider. These armies, we don't know what they're going to do. There might be, I mean, you know, that stuff in the temple was talked about how, you know, the people here were hated. What if they just want to take vengeance on the world?
Well,
What if they're trying to kill everyone? That includes us.
Well, we just go far enough.
Whatever their function, they ultimately serve a shad first and foremost. If this is his method of trying to free himself, we have to take that into account as well.
It's got a point. I can't really be making money if everyone's dead.
What do you mean? There's a huge world out there. It's just one continent. I'm just...
As Oldemire says, no matter what, tomorrow I am going to have to leave to the Savas. They must know about this.
Yes, they better. Please leave out the detail where we, you know, took the thing.
Right, please try not to tell everybody it was totally off.
Yeah,
No, I mean, we were, to be fair, we were commissioned to do that delve on behalf of,
Elian.
Still,
no one could have predicted this. No one could have predicted this would have happened. It is my responsibility. It was my incursion, and I will take responsibility for it.
Still, people are after my head. If people could possibly come up with the idea, oh, the trick here, Zero tricked everyone into going into the tomb and unleashing a horde of skeletons to kill everyone. So maybe keep us out of it.
I think most of the witnesses to that are going to be dead soon.
Well, that's lovely.
Got a point.
Torvalkane says, and of the rest of you, after the scouts, do you know where you're going to be heading?
Well, our goal originally was to come over and procure a force that would be sufficient to challenge the assault. We tried our best.
I might have an idea for that. I don't like the idea, but I might have an idea for that.
Well, remember, these skeletons are also going to be hostile to the Ignis invaders as well.
Hopefully.
It may cause enough chaos to buy us some time.
You know, that might actually be a good point. Yeah.
I'm not luring a horde of skeletons 200 kilometers south.
We might not need to go south. We could try and meet up with Hanera's people.
You'd have to go. Well, yeah, that's north of Lenora, so you have to go to Lenora first.
Yeah.
Which is the way that Isildamire's going. Torvalkane says, I still need to go to Adenera, so I'm going north.
I would much rather go to Adenera. But I feel like Ignis is here, rather than over there.
I do not think we are in a place to contest Ignis. We need more people.
That's true.
Consulting the Padron will hopefully give us the resources we need, Torvalkane says.
If everyone doesn't fucking veto him.
No one can veto the Padron. It's just who has the most influence on the council over him right now. The scout eventually leads you down into a dark ravine now at this point. It's quite late and you're all feeling very exhausted. There there is a couple of carts just barricaded in front of like a crag in the ravine wall, and a couple of soldiers have put up like bits of lumber and just like made a little door. The scout knocks on it, just like a special secret scout knock. And a little slidey opens, and a guard notices and lets you in. The crag itself actually is quite narrow at first, but then expands into the cave system quite far. There's probably like a number as you walk in and are let in. The first thing you notice is there's like this main cavernous complex. There's this main cavernous complex that has most of the injured being like tended to and nurtured here. A whole bunch of priests and auxiliary sort of support people are just like doing magic and just sort of like using magical salves and trying to heal up some of the wounds. Including the priests, some of them who are here. It's chaos, really. Like a number of them notice that you've arrived, and as you are sort of standing around, kind of unsure of what to do, Tor Elian shouts over and says, "Oh, you're back. You found us then?"
Eventually.
Yeah.
What happened? I assume this was something to do with that temple.
Seems that way. A bunch of these, well, I'm not sure what we did, but got to
If we even did anything.
Yeah, while we were there, they just started coming out of the ground.
Well, FYI, I'm just going to assume Hanera is just hiding the Hexweave as much as she can at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems intelligent.
Yeah, started coming out of the ground. Barely made it out ourselves. Even the shade still didn't do that much.
Yeah, Torvalcane says it probably helped more than it hindered.
I mean, imagine if he didn't have the Shade Steel.
Tor Elian says, "These creatures, what is their purpose? Do we know?"
I don't know.
I think it might have something to do with a shad, maybe.
We saw they had a leader at the other forces. Seen anything like that at the other one? Sorry, is this at the forward scout camp, right?
Yeah, this is the forward scout camp, so you're probably like...
Yeah,
it's around here now.
The force here, have you seen any special ones? Or just... all just generic?
We didn't have to deal with that many of them, but we saw them on the horizon.
Right.
So we decided to play it safe. This was a cave we came across. Seems to be fine. There's a water supply in here. We don't have any Hexweaves if the main force is destroyed, but we've got enough supplies to take us to Nerion.
Right. Yeah. There was this. He was dressed like a king, and he created a fissure in the ground. Seemed pretty strong. Parted the skeletons, commanded them without a word. Hopefully, he's the only one.
And maybe if you kill him, it gets rid of the others.
We have no proof that is the case, though.
No, but, you know, it's better than just no theory.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's not a theory I'm willing to risk my life on.
Oh, we're probably not going to go over that, right?
we'll see.
Very well, Torelian says. get some rest. We'll be leaving in the morning.
Right. Should be able to help you with some of the wounded before we rest up ourselves.
Luckily, most of these are stragglers that came to us. There have been a few that have managed to find us. Other scouts have gone forward. Our best guess is that we probably have about 300. We haven't done a head count yet.
Right.
So anyone else we can get. But these caves can't take much more than this. Anyway, yes, get some rest, all of you. I suppose.
Okay.
You should be able to find somewhere settled in.
We'll
Hey.
spend some time refocusing and healing and refocusing and healing and that whole cycle.
Yeah.
Can I kind of gather everyone slightly?
Yeah.
Just kind of in a quieter corner of the cave. Everyone, what? Can I have a moment, please?
What's up? Yeah.
What are we doing?
What do you mean?
We are sat right now. 2 weeks ago, we came over here as emissaries, diplomats, and now we are in some cave trying to get involved in things that we really should not be getting involved with. And we have, on numerous occasions, nearly been killed. And for what? Just to make things worse. I really, really, really thought we would come over here and just dip, and see what we could get. If we couldn't, too bad. We tried our best. But getting involved in every little thing we see is not going to help.
I mean, these are potential allies that we're sent here to get.
But we are spending so long on each one. It is not going to help.
But,
We will be here for years and years and years and years and years without actually doing anything.
You're a charismatic fellow. I would have thought you would have understood that making friends doesn't come quick.
But those friendships are not going to help us here. If we have to spend 10 years cultivating an alliance with somebody, well, the banking guilds already sunk the whole continent, or whatever the hell their mechanician is.
So what are you recommending?
We should be trying to get the easy ones we can. To hell with, wider plans and things. Just, this is the problem, will you help? This is the problem, will you help? If they say no, we move on. And if we go around and there are no allies, then we go back and we say it's just not going to happen. We can't change a whole continent overnight. These elves, they hate each other more than they hate humans. Their pride and their hubris, it is palpable. It makes me feel like I'm in a desert.
That's a 10.
Like, really, what are we doing here? Who are these people?
People?
I hate to say it, I think Castus has a point. But
You agree with Cascus a lot. You act like it's something
He is a smart
strange.
man. He values his life. He wants to live until he is old and can have lots of wives and children and husbands.
Lots of wives, though.
I mean, we can't expect people to help us if we don't give anything back.
Why? Why?
Because
It's
that's
like
not how it works.
We give them a bargain. We give them a promise in the future. We give them some change, some money, no? We do not give them, this fairy tale ending where we reunite him with his daughter and his long-lost child and we fight demons and dragons. That is fantasy. This is the real world.
I mean, dragons are real, though.
I know they are.
I mean, whatever we promise, they're only going to trust us so much. Like,
We have behind us and our name, Port Edron. We have so much backing with that piece of paper we've got in here. And instead we are dirtying ourselves with this mundane riffraff.
But they'll only trust us as much as they trust Port Edron. And I figure they don't trust Port Edron a whole lot.
We just need them to see it is in their self-interest. It is not about trust.
We're asking them to do the same thing you're saying that we shouldn't be doing. We're asking them to engage themselves in a human conflict.
It is more than a human conflict. We have told them they are the pot that, you know, these holes in the gloom are all over this continent. It is
All they're gonna care about is Ignis and the revolution going on.
exactly. Then move on. It is not helpful.
Then we're not going to win.
Well, then maybe we were never going to win.
Also, if we just travel from city to city, saying, "Oh, will you help?" No, I'll see ya. When are we going to make this coin that you want?
Once we have got back and we've tried our best. This continent is not what I thought it was. It is messy.
So you just want to go?
Leave.
You just want to go home?
At this point, I do. I am in a cave right now, and I have been trekking through deserts, and nothing has got done. We've been here 3 weeks.
I don't know about you, but he's gonna like pull out the bag of pull out a bag with like the runestones and stuff from earlier. I mean, that's the biggest haul I've ever had by a long way.
It doesn't help us win the war.
And 3 weeks ain't a long time.
Being selfish won't help us win a war.
Oh, your idealism is suffering. I've been
It's
trying my
not
best week after
idealism.
week after week.
It's not idealism. It's simple pragmatics. We're not going to be able to win anyone over if we're just only ever looking for ourselves.
To be clear, I'm not looking to go on any just suicide missions. You know, like, you know, there's a reason I was on board for, you know, getting out of there once we made that ramp. But there is going to be some risk to this, you know.
Okay.
There's a reason they sent us and not professional negotiators, you know.
Because we kill things good.
Yeah, ultimately, we aren't professional diplomats. We're just the guys they add. We're some guys that can look after ourselves, can do some shit to ingratiate ourselves to the elves, and that's what we should do, I reckon. Curry favour.
He like
the way
pinches
we
his nose
can.
and just kind of like bangs his head against the cave wall slightly.
Now, when we've done all we can here without needlessly risking our own lives, then I'm down to move on. You know, go to Lenora, see the Padron, go see an Ares mum, whatever. But if there's still shit to do here, where we can come out the other end of this with, you know, armies on our side, I think we should do it.
You know, there might also be a way to do that safely. But we need to get through this first. And it'll take time. What exactly does Cyan know about the thing we've talked about, Mike?
Let's go into another channel for it.
Okay.
Alright, be back in a second.
Okay.
Fans, what do you think we should do? Leave your comment below.
If you want us to run headfirst into the skeleton army and try and take out the leader, press 1. If you want us to go home and quit life of adventuring, press 2. If you want us to go to the beach and have a swimsuit contest, press 3.
I think like most people press 3.
Well, I think now I want to press 3 as well. That sounds like a fun adventure. A lot safer as well.
I kind of don't want to start anything because they'll just come back and then we'll be back to where we were.
Sorry, start anything?
Like this.
All right, back. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, cool. It's all sorted. So yeah, you're currently resting. So Torvel came at some point, like he comes over and he says, he talks to Hanera for a bit, and then comes over to all of you and says, "I've just told Hanera that I'll be heading off to Adnera tomorrow."
Right.
Much as I'd love to stay and help protect my lady, she seems content to see me off on my mission. So
Where exactly is Adanera?
It's to the north somewhere.
it's northwest, so like it's over here. It's in House Ignis territory.
Oh, I'm on the wrong map. Oh, right, okay. So you're to Adanera?
Yes, for my mission, which I have explained already.
Oh. Right.
If you wish to come, you are welcome. But I think the High Curator, if you decide to leave, the High Curator will need assistance towards Lenora. But if you wish to remain here as well, I'm sure House Rexus would be grateful for your assistance.
I think Lenore is the safest bet.
To be fair, we were actually on our way to Lenora before all this kicked off.
Yeah.
It's been just a bit of a detour, to be honest.
A very silly detour.
Oh, come off it.
Like, flicks his clothing around.
What is life but just a series of detours?
That's very philosophical. I like that. I'm going to write that down somewhere.
Chinook, is that you? Okay, cool. So, yeah, is there anything anyone wants to do during this night then?
Cascus wants to have a quick chat with Henning.
Yep, go ahead.
He taps him on the shoulder.
Oh, Cassis.
Good evening. Slumps next to him on the cave wall. So, you do not really want to hang around and deal with all this, do you?
Of course not. This is a complete waste of time. I
Excellent.
don't care about House Rex. This is besides the mission. This is silly. It's taking far too long. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be here all like the rest of our lives trying to do this.
I agree. Now, how about we take things into our own hands a little bit if the others do not change their mind.
Okay. What's your plan?
Well, we go, we leave for a bit, We just head off
Okay.
to Lenora. It sounds like they might anyway go that way, but if they take their time and decide to go on some harebrained adventure to do something else, then we just go. We do something so magnificent they cannot help but be turned to our way of thinking.
Right. Well. Okay. Fine. I'll let you lead the way on this.
Excellent. 24 hours we give them. They will play along from now.
I'm interested to see what they really want to do next.
I suppose we'll find out.
I'm sure House Rexus can deal with these skeletons alone. I'm sure the whole Ignis thing will just blow over nicely.
Yes, I completely agree. It is these things have a way of sorting themselves out, no?
Of course.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back in 4 months and they all They all become friends. Skeletons and elves at tea together.
Exactly. You know, worst comes to worst, this whole continent gets destroyed by skeletons, and we just go back to Orphade.
Ah, this is okay.
Skeletons can't swim, everybody knows that. So Orphade will be fine. Nothing ever bad happens in Orphade.
Sorry.
I will sleep sweetly to that one.
Okay, cool. So, anything else? No? Go to the next day?
Mhm.
So you all
Sure.
managed to get a relatively comfortable night's sleep. It's obviously quite crowded, and the coughing of just like people and bustling, and occasional groans of injured elves, eventually subsides to the comfort of just blissful sleep. As you're resting, nothing that interesting happens, I guess. So the next day, you are awoken to a number of elves nervously, the news of some nervous excitement spreads amongst the camp. I think you overhear a couple of elves hearing a rumor that like a whole number of skeletons were seen not that far away. And Tor Elian, who is up bright and early, he may not have even had any sleep. He may have been up all night doing stuff. But he notices you awaken, and he says, "Right, we are in the midst of a bit of an issue here.
What kind of issue?
Over the night, what I assume is that massive horde that attacked the army is moved down south, and it is about a mile away." Which means that I suspect what has remained of the main force of the army is no longer about. There will just be squads of people who have teamed up in the wilderness. There's no consistent force anymore.
Okay.
These meager forces can't take that shit on.
No.
If that group is coming, then this lot needs to leave.
I was considering just hoping to hide out in these caves. Hopefully the force will pass, and then we'll have a free reign back to Essos.
Are there any directions we could go that would not, result in being overrun?
Our scouts show that there doesn't seem to be that many skeletal forces to the south and to the east. There seems to be a large number of them at the north part of the Scorched Flats, but less so, more south. But they seem to be moving mostly south, which is good. Kind of good.
Okay, so we could go south.
You could go south, or you could try and cross the Harris River, which isn't that far. It's less than a day's walk.
Is the river traversable?
From here, there are a number of river crossings along the way. I can update your map with them if you need it.
That would be useful.
I mean, if we're going into Lenore, then
Yeah,
we're going to want to
whichever
go
way-
east, right? And if we go south, it's that road where Ignis is on, then that's not going to bode well for us.
Well, we could always stick to the sides. We might be able to sneak past.
Maybe, but
We could go through the woods.
yeah, if we go east, maybe
I
cut
think
through,
east would be-
maybe cut through a little bit of the mountains or near the base of them.
I think, yeah. It's harder
think-
to move an army through the forest, I believe.
Yeah, in times of war, I think sticking away from the main roads is probably for the best. Maybe make it to the Gordil Woods. Godrill? I don't know, I'm not local.
It's the Godderhill Woods.
The Godrill Woods.
Yeah, so there's a couple of river crossings. There's one quite close to you, and then there's one a bit more southwards as well. And then you got the bridge, the main bridge.
Where I see it, the one a bit more east, quicker, but probably more likely to run into the undesirables. The south one, south one maybe a bit safer, but puts us closer to a Nuna, closer to potential Ignis soldiers. We don't know what's the other side of that river. Maybe all the skeletons are this side, and once we're over there, we're free. But we don't know. Could be.
Maybe they can't swim.
Maybe they can just walk on the bottom. Do bones float?
I think we should go east.
Anyone here good at cooking? Do you know if bones float when you make broth?
Bones definitely float.
Definitely.
Yes, I've cooked before.
Now, does that remain so when all the marrow's been like removed?
Oh,
Well, I don't know. I've never done it that way.
Does
Look,
skeletons
can't
still
swim.
have marrow?
Everybody knows.
I don't know.
Skeletons can't swim.
I think speed is of the essence, regardless. The longer time we spend getting across, the more it gives people to move, and we have no idea which direction they're going to move or what they're going to do. We need to. I think we should go directly east across the river.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, we should be able to see him coming from a distance, right? If we do, we can just head south. They're slow, thankfully. But yeah, so if we head east, get to the river, and then how do I do a thing like that? So we can maybe make it to probably make it to maybe the base of the mountain by sundown.
The High Curator says there is an inn just there. We could stay there.
Around it.
is it
Yes.
not the risk of being Ignis soldiers everywhere?
There is a chance of there being Ignis soldiers, but if I was to say that you're all part of the Savas as well, they wouldn't be able to. I mean, we're neutral.
There's a problem with that, and I kind of point at my face.
Can you not disguise yourself?
I don't know if I can, like, I don't know, pick another face or something, but I don't know how high up this guy is.
Well, you could give it a go.
You can do
Maybe-
it. We-
Maybe someone can give me makeup or something.
Unfortunately, I do not think I can do that.
I have a
right
spare cloak of the Savas if you want to wear it. Just keep your cloak up and don't look soldiers in the eye, I suppose.
That sounds like an idea.
Once we get into the Godhill Woods, we'll be
We'll be safe.
Well, it's a dangerous woods, but it's safer than
Safer than here.
Yeah.
Yeah, safety is a relative term.
Yeah. Like, you know, dangling over a volcano is more dangerous than where we are right now. I would imagine. I've
Is
not dangled over many volcanoes.
Right,
Over
so
one.
1 day to that inn, and then probably 2 days to the woods.
Shouldn't
Seem
take
about
us
right to
too
you?
long.
That sounds like a plan then, if you're okay with coming. So which crossing did you want to use? This one?
Yeah, I reckon north.
Yeah.
Get there as quick as we can.
Very well. Alright, should we have a break here now then?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Then we'll do that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll see you in a bit, Russian spammers.
All right. See you in a bit, Russian spammers.
Great. Hello, welcome back. So just before the break, the party had integrated with Tor Elian's forward scout support group. After having seen the absolute fucking chaos that was caused in the main army, you've spent the night, and now there is a rumor that there is quite a large group of skeletons beginning to come into this sort of ravine complex where the scouts have made base. There is a brief window of opportunity for Jarl to leave. Tor Velkane is going north, so he's gonna just like power through, see if he can sneak his way past the.
Just breaststroke through the skeleton waves.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
they
it's
clank on his armor.
I think it's one of those things that like if you're on your own, it's a lot easier, obviously, than if you're like part of a big group. Because the second a few skeletons know and start walking towards you, then all of the others are going to start. But if you're just one person, you may have more chance of getting out of it.
Is Shade still light?
Yeah. So Shade Steel, the armor is light, but it's not very maneuverable when you have it on.
Right.
Yeah,
I suppose you can
right,
like retract and you can like put it on and off instantly
like,
as well, right? So you can
yeah,
jog.
exactly. Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
take
See,
it,
in my
basically take
head
it off and jog.
In my head, it was kind of like Mithril, with like it being like very like light.
Yeah, it's effectively like not having anything like Shade Steel swords as well. They're so big and so like they look so unwieldy, but they like to hold them, they just feel like
Final Fantasy style.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just feels like nothing. Same with the armor. The armor is as light as just wearing clothes.
Feels like wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah. So in that case, I guess you are thinking about just going then, are you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I should put the music on.
Go east.
If you want to die.
That's actually this one. Okay, so Tor Velkane says his goodbyes. Tor Elian comes over to you and says, we're going to just see how long we can stay in here for the next couple of days until the skeleton forces have dispersed a little bit from this region. Then we'll make our way to Essus. We'll send word from Essus if we can. But if you are going to Lenora, please, any assistance to our cause.
Yeah, we will.
We'll throw in a good word.
Good luck to you. I imagine. Well, I imagine both of us will need it.
Luck. Yes. He looks over you and says, "You know, I don't blame any of you for this. This is a cursed desert. There's always been warnings about traversing through it, so it happened."
I hope you can get to your family as soon as you can. I hope they're safe.
Aye. Well, farewell, all of you.
Best of luck.
Right. Well, at least we haven't seen any siege weaponry amongst the skeletons, so
Don't say that. It's going to happen now.
yeah, I haven't seen any trebuchets, catapults, shit like that. So hopefully the city should be relatively safe.
Cyan is hyperventil.
Richard hasn't played enough Tomb Kings, clearly.
Sorry, no, sorry. Enough what? Enough what?
From Warhammer. Either way, river crossing then, yeah? This one nearby.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long is that going to take you? It's 10 miles away, so it's about a third of the day's travel to get there. Right, so you head off. You go out the front entrance and you're let through. Tor Velkane also says his goodbye, but as you're going one direction after the entrance, he's going the other. He says, "Farewell, all of you. I hope to see you around. Hopefully, this mission I can succeed in."
Right. Yeah. Good luck.
But I'll try and get in contact as soon as possible. Very well. the High Curator has ordered my own. She gives each of you a Savas pin, and she has a spare Savas cloak for one of you, which probably Cyan.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cyan or Hanera, probably either one. But the Savas are often known to just hire people to go with them, and they have a sense of neutrality. So stick to her. she says stick to me. Hopefully the guards won't ask too many questions.
Does that get respected in even in wartime?
Well, it's just generally respected, and there is not very many times where there aren't wars, at least between some houses.
Fair enough.
It's a grave crime to stop a member of the Savas in their duties. All right, so you begin heading off. At least as you get closer to the river, the desert becomes less and less gnarly. And after, is there anything you wanted to do on your travels over to the river crossing?
I would like to just kind of have a quick chat with Isolde.
Oh yeah.
So, I am curious. How did you and Cadell meet?
I met him when I was just out of the training for the Savas. I came across him injured, battered, weary, and long travelled. He said he had recently been a captive. I tended to him, I took him in, and I gave him an opportunity.
What kind of opportunity?
There was another war going on at the time. It was between House Kaidas and House Natas. Cadell became a very useful informant for me. He had abilities that not many others did. Let's say that.
I believe I've seen some of those abilities.
So he became an unofficial ally of the Savas. And eventually, after the war was done, he began working in the Padrin's court. And quite recently, Daeron Kaidas of House Kaidas, who is the Keel in charge of a lot of the military affairs, took a dislike to him and promoted him to the position of the Padrin's wit, i.e. his jester. It's a promotion because Cadell obviously has no noble blood. To even be in the royal court at all is impressive, but but Daeron Kaidas wished to at least give him something befitting his station.
Well, he seemed to make it work.
Yes. The politics of the royal palace are complicated, but Cadell is able to make a lot of friends quite easily. Let's say that.
He talked about wanting to be better. I think he had something to do with that.
Well, he was a statesman when I met him. Let's say that. I'm sure that you probably know a little bit about him, but in truth, he didn't want to tell me everything either. I've now known him for 40 years or so.
Does that ever bother you?
Not knowing.
Yeah.
I figure that at some point I'll find out. I'm not that worried about what people did in their past. I'm interested in what they are capable of now, and what they are like now. He's made it clear that he's not happy about his past. And as for who held him in captivity, I'm not sure either. It had clearly affected him, though. After a little while, you come across the river crossing. Up here, so this is obviously a very ravine-y part. There's a canyon with a quite deep stream of water at the bottom of it, maybe like 30 or 40 feet down. There is a guide kind of rope bridge thing, which is pretty much like just a rope across with another rope to hold on to. People who really don't mind going across like that, but you wouldn't be able to get like a cart across or anything. But all of you are carrying just things on you. She says, luckily there are no Ignis soldiers or skeletons. Seems no undead here.
Well, keep your eyes peeled.
I've never understood that statement. Like, why would you want to peel your eye?
Do you want to give me a perception check then, Cascus?
Yeah. 22.
So yeah, where you are at the moment, you do see obviously the desert continues on elsewhere. You did notice you do notice looking going on top of like a big boulder and looking in the distance. You do see a number of evidences of skeletons having moved in the region. Like there are like footmarks in the sand and stuff. But you don't see anything nearby. And you're actually not that far, not massively far away from the temple. But even looking in that direction, you can't see anything. So the path looks clear. Isolde goes over and tests the ropes. Just make sure that they seem to be fine. She says, these weren't set very long ago. I feel like a few scouts came across here. Just reset everything up.
So safe?
Seems to be. She goes across and tests the top rope as well, and then just shrugs over to you and then begins to cross the crossing.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow her.
Yeah, it's like maybe 30 feet across. So it's not a massive distance, but it's a bit nervous because the water below is rushing fairly fast. But she makes across, and then Cyan goes across. Who's next? Cascus. Okay. Actually, Cyan and Cascus, can you make me just like acrobatics or athletics checks just across it?
Okay.
I'm gonna use a legend point.
It does require, yeah, like a very basic amount of athleticism.
Okay. Well, I'm just...
But that's cool.
Now.
Nice one.
Fine. Yeah, you both passed. So you both make it across. Who be next?
I'll get it.
Okay. Yeah, give me athletics or acrobatics. It's your choice. Like crossing a rope bridge, like is like tightrope walking is acrobatics, right? So okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. Like I was looking for anything over 15 really. And no, basically not a natural one. So it's cool. You go across. Then do you want to do Hanera, Cos?
Sure.
That one.
Don't fucking say that.
She has featherfall at least. So.
Will Featherfall help? Oh no, you said it was a bridge, didn't you? So yeah, it's not swimming. Where finding things is hard. Did you say it was athletics?
Or acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Well, both are shit. I guess acrobatics. Oh.
So you have a choice here. So Hanera begins to cross the bridge, and she loses her footing, and the rope bridge snaps, and she's just holding on. Well, she could attempt to either grab onto the top rope and just hold on, or she can use her reaction to cast Featherfall. She can't do both.
I think given her -2 to athletics, she will Featherfall.
Okay, fine. So she Featherfalls and finds her way falling slowly towards a gushing river below. What's everyone else doing? Did you see Hanera like kind of slowly falling towards like the river? She's gonna like fall into it.
I gave away my rope.
Can she?
Henning has rope.
Is there any way she can like try and get towards the edge?
She can cast fly on her next turn, but she'll be in the water by then.
Oh, she does have fly. Oh, she goes. Is it less than 60 feet then?
Yeah, it's only like 30 feet down or something.
Ooh.
So okay, so Hanera plops into the water, and starts to get carried southwards. Can Hanera make me a athletics check? What would it be with the save?
Reflex save?
Maybe fortitude.
Probably just athletics save, right? If it's to
just do an athletics
swim?
check for me.
Yeah.
Just do an athletics check for me, just to swim.
With a -2.
Come on, Richard.
Okay, it's a good roll.
Hang on. I just need to actually. I think that's probably a fail.
Oh. But maybe not a crit fail.
I don't think it's a crit fail.
How does it work if you're in water and can fly? Can you just... It's about the space you're going into, not the space you're leaving, right?
Well, I would say if she had succeeded on that check, she would be able to cast spells with vocal components. But she is currently like in the process of drowning.
Oh no.
So she's kind of blah, 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 blah. But does fly have a... What is the fly spell?
Fly is... somatic and verbal.
There you go. So let me just look at the rules for drown.
If Hanera isn't instantly...
Yeah, so she's holding her breath at the moment. She's got 5 rounds plus her Constitution modifier. And her air is currently reduced by 1 round.
If Hanera isn't able to instantly jump out, clearly is just getting washed away, then Calcifer is going to jump in after her.
Okay. You're gonna cannonball it.
Yeah.
Are you wearing your armor?
Well, I think it would take a little while to take it off, so probably, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a circumstance minus to your athletics checks and to swim as well.
Oof.
Yeah, jumping into a fast-flowing river in armor is going to do that. But you would know that, so you can make that decision. Yeah. Okay. So all right then, Calcifer then jumps in.
Yeah.
Hank jumps in, I guess, as well. That's probably the best bet if Hank also jumps in.
I mean, Hank's actually. So I've redone my skills because I realized I think he's not. I think I just put proficiency in some things, even though he's not actually proficient. So he only actually has a +3 to athletics.
Right.
Because he's strong but not trained. So, yeah. For now, just Calcifer.
All right. Actually, let's do this visually then. This is like this is obviously an old map.
I don't own any token with vision.
Oh yeah, hang on.
I can see.
Add people.
Now I can see.
Add people to this.
Yeah, this is the
Henning.
previous map where Hanera fell off the bridge.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah,
straight
true.
platform.
And then Cyan is on the other side. Isolde Mayan's there as well, right? So she's over this side. Who have I missed? Hank.
I think Henning's on my side.
I'd already
I've
crossed.
crossed it.
Oh yeah, you two have crossed then.
Yeah, I've crossed it.
Oh, so has everyone crossed except for?
Yep. It was just an error.
I'm drowning.
I had Calcifer crossed.
Calcifer
Calcifer's
hadn't
jumped
crossed it,
in.
no. But
No,
he's
no,
now
but previously
he
he
hadn't, no, but he's now
Okay.
jumping in.
All right,
Okay.
so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna roll this as an initiative. We can roll initiative for this in a sec. And every round, the people who are in the river, if they aren't like successfully swimming to like negate the current, are just gonna be swept down like another 10 feet.
Okay.
And also if you're failing to negate the current, you're gonna be drowning as well. You're gonna be holding your breath.
So I was just looking down Hanera's spells for anything that doesn't have a verbal component. Invisibility.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you turn invisible, the water will think you're gone.
Right, can everyone roll initiative for me, please?
Sure.
I'm just basic perception then.
Yeah. Well, you can use athletics if you want acrobatics because that's kind of what y'all were doing.
If I can use
you prefer
athletics,
that.
then that is a lot better.
Yeah, you'll be using athletics for sure.
I'm being perceptive and seeing that my friends are drowning.
Yeah, Hanera's going to use diplomacy because her friends are coming to her aid.
Right. Yeah. Fair. She's like, help me! Help me!
Need to roll
Uh,
diplomacy check.
All right. So y'all, you guys who are actually on the other side of the ravine are 30 feet up. So there's a 30-feet gap. So maybe I'll just put on the numbers here. 30. That being said, Cyan, what do you want to do on your turn?
I don't think there's anything I got rid of my rope to help out the soldiers.
Same.
I could maybe send Nyx down to aid people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nyx could do that. It'd be the same aid as just whatever your stats are, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna send Nyx to aid Hanera, try and keep her head above water.
How far can she go in one move?
I think it depends on the form she's in. I don't think we've decided what form she's in.
Oh, let's just say actually just that Nyx is just appears next to Hadera. That's fine. For now, yeah. That's fine. Okay, she's gonna aid.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna try and keep her head above water.
Cool. Do you want to do the roll now then, and we'll just see whether that succeeds.
Would that be athletics?
Yeah, athletics. Yeah. And then 23. I'm gonna take the DCs just for your level, for everyone's level. Now we're at this point. So rules, gem screen. Where are we? Sorry, bear with me. I'm still getting back used to running again after our little break. Where it used to be here, right? It's level 7. Let's just say 20. Oh, simple DCs. Here we go. DCs by level. We're level 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
23 is the DC then to beat. So...
Oh, that's a success then.
Oh no, yeah, actually you just need to beat 20 because it's an aid. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
But Hanera will have to be at 20. So that'll be a +2 to Hanera's next check.
Cool.
Henny. Oh, did you want to do anything else?
I don't think there's anything else I can do.
Okay, fine. Henning.
I'm going to get the rope out of my bag.
Okay, so you've got 60 feet of rope.
Yeah. I'm going to tie a knot in it and then try and, I guess, fish an arrow out.
Okay, so it'll be an action to take it out, an action to tie it to a nearby rock,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna throw it.
Yeah, throw it.
Yeah, all right. Make like you have like a ranged throw check. Like you can do that with like what you'd normally do with the bomb.
Okay. I don't know how to do
So
that.
you'd have to beat if you want to hit Hanera with it. Let's say you have to get her AC on the throw. So just get a bomb out and just throw the bomb, and then we'll see what the number.
Well, if I do roll, well, my alchemical is plus 11. So if I just do roll d20 plus 11, does that work?
Would it be dexterity? Some sort of dexterity thing.
Oh,
yeah, actually, no, plus 11. Yeah, it'd be dexterity plus your proficiency. Yeah, that's fine. Plus 11. Fine.
d20 plus 11. 20?
20.
That's not her AC.
What's
her
Hanera's
AC
AC?
is higher than that, right?
Hanera's AC.
Yeah.
That is 24.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
within her reach, I'll say. So she could reach out and try and grab it, but has she used her reaction this turn? She hasn't, has she?
She featherfalled.
She feather. Oh, she has. Yeah. It hasn't been her turn yet then.
Well, it's still attached to a rock. I guess I could throw it again.
Yeah. Well, you can either pull it back next turn.
Yeah.
Or you can. I mean, she can try and grab it. If she succeeds on her swim check, she might be able to swim over to it.
Okay.
But we'll see then, I guess. Why is this encounter thing not moving on for me? Hello?
It's not moving on for me either.
Amazing. All right. Well, we'll just go to Calcifer. It says it's Henning's turn, but Calcifer.
Okay, gonna attempt to swim over.
All right. Yeah, you need to make an athletics check. Beat 23 is the number.
36.
36. So yeah. So you're swimming. So you're moving. So you
Okay,
can
so-
now all this turn you can do swim actions.
So it's 10 feet plus 5 feet per 20 feet of land speed. So 15 feet. So 1, 2, 3. And I can so you see I can just repeat that rather than having to
I'll
make it
say
for each
because
one,
you're going the direction of the current.
Okay.
I'll say it's double that way. So yeah, it'll be double that way. So yeah,
Alright,
you
so
can do that.
that'll get me to... Okay, so that'll get me to... And then just kind of try and grab her and hold her above water.
Okay, are you aiding? Are you
Just trying to grab and like
Alright,
lifeguard it.
That'll be another athletics check then.
Okay.
So remember your circumstance modifier of -2 is going to be -4 now because you're trying to carry her as well. You still
Okay.
need to be 23.
Okay, I've added it on.
Cool, fantastic.
31.
Yeah. Okay. So you managed to grab Hanera with Nyx's assistance as well. You managed to pull her above water, so she's no longer drowning or like holding her breath.
Okay.
Um,
So with my last action, can I just try and like grab onto the wall to hold her still?
Yeah. Is that your third action?
Yeah.
All right. That'll be another athletics check. Same circumstance penalty.
Okay, 21.
21 is a fail.
Okay.
So you're currently holding back, but you'll have to do the same swim check again at the start of next turn. But you're currently holding Hanera, so you've failed at holding on, but you're managing to sort of fight the current for now.
Okay.
All right, Hanera.
Okay, so if Hanera is above, it can I use verbal components, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she will cast Spider Climb on Calcifer.
Okay.
So that's 2 actions. and then with her last action, can she just sort of try and like position herself on Calcifer so that she's secure?
Just carry on holding on.
Yeah, just like maybe get into a position on him where like maybe just like wrapped around him.
That's
like,
fine.
proper
I'll
piggyback type thing.
yeah, yeah, fine. I'll say she doesn't need to do a check for that.
Yeah, so that it's unlikely that if he starts just walking up the cliff, she's gonna fall off.
Yeah, so she'll have to do it. She'll have to do a check to hold on when you start climbing. But I think that's fine. It also means that your free hand is now freed up.
Cool.
You're no longer grabbing onto her.
Okay, I think that's it for her.
All right, cool. Isolde Mayan is her turn. She's gonna rush over to the edge and look down. She's like, "What the hell? I don't have any spells. I've got heal as like all my spells." She's like, "Are you okay down there?"
I think I got a.
Okay, and Hank is just barking.
Can you? I'll grab that rope in a sec.
Okay, cool. Back to Cyan then. Okay, it works now.
I still don't know. Fucking.
Get ready to help pull the rope.
Yeah, I'll help pull the rope, I guess.
Cool. As you look around, you notice a couple of skeletons have just walked into the area.
Oh, fuck me.
Can they be on the other side of the river? Like, how did they get over this side?
Well, it's still part of the desert.
For some reason my initiative hasn't been added.
Your initiative hasn't.
Nope.
Oh, what was it before?
I rolled. I think I should have a bit of a tit and just rolled a perception check instead of.
Oh, did you? Oh, what was it? What was the?
It's 32.
You've missed 2 turns then.
I literally was going through Archives of Nethys looking through the consumables because I could use Preston consumable, but I literally couldn't find anything useful. So
That's
he
fine.
was rummaging through his bag. For 2
Okay,
turns.
cool. That's fine. I put you to the top of the turn tracker. And then these are just fucking rando skeletons that are just walked in. They look kind of weak. Like they look pretty much just as weak as the regular ones you've been fighting. But either way, you notice that they've just they're slowly stumbling towards you. There's not that many.
Would I have used my action already?
For what? Sorry.
Because before you mentioned that, I was saying that I was going to help the rope.
Oh yeah, that's information that you get on the start of your turn.
Right, okay. The way I see it, I'd probably be doing better trying to keep the skeletons off Henning than pulling the rope. So I'm going to. Hang on. I'm going to draw my longbow and fire at the nearest skeleton by by here.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. So that's 2 actions.
$26. That hits.
Okay. It takes 3 points of piercing. And
Oh, it actually has resistance to. It has resistance 5 to piercing, so it actually takes no damage there from that.
well, fuck. Okay, with my last action then, can I use my free hand to help with the rope?
Sure. You're not close enough to Henning for that.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I guess draw my rapier then with my free hand.
Okay, cool. Henning.
Need to be here for the rope, really, don't I? I guess I get ready to pull the rope.
Mhm.
Then I guess I'll just use my reaction when they've grabbed it. Start trying to pull, although I don't think Heading's going to be able to do that by himself.
That's cool.
Definitely not.
Well, it's attached. It's currently attached to something quite sturdy, so you don't need to help with the pulling.
Okay. Well, they could pull themselves. I suppose they could pull themselves.
Yeah, they'll pull themselves up, hopefully.
Okay, I will. Can I move here and then hold an action to hit one of these skeletons when they get close enough?
Yeah. So 2 actions to hold an action, so that's your turn then.
Yeah. Okay.
So how close do they have to get before you all attack?
It's 30 feet, I think.
Okay, so when one of them comes within 30 feet, that's fine. Calcifer,
Okay.
currently with Hanera on your back. There is a rope near you, but you have spider climb as well.
Yes. So I sort of just like use the rope a bit and like sort of hand it off to Hanera as like going up the wall, and just try and move up this wall as much as I can. So I have a climbing speed, I believe, equal to my normal speed. Yes. So I should be able to just go up 25 feet at a time. Assuming there's no... Well, unless there's a speed penalty of having Hanera on my back.
There's a speed penalty for just for climb. How far can you climb? Spider climb.
25 feet. It's a climbing speed equal to my speed.
All right, give me an athletics check at the start of your turn because you're in water anyway.
Okay.
It's got the with the -4 circumstance penalty.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Legend point.
Cool.
I'm not letting Hanera drown while I'm while she's not here.
Never hear the end of it. Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Well.
wow.
God.
So that is a success. That does count as that is a success because it's 24.
Great success.
Damn. Okay. Well, that was a good use of a legend point then. So now so you can move up to the wall and start climbing.
Okay. So how steep is the cliff? How high is the cliff?
The cliff is 30 feet up.
Okay. So if I use 2, then I should be able to get all the way up.
Cool. And with Hanera as well. Cool, fantastic.
And 1 action left. I will, I guess, draw my flail.
Sure, fine.
That'll be it for me.
All right, Hanera. Oh, so yeah, as you climb back up and you're sputtering from all the water in your mouth, you see like these obviously skeletons approaching.
Okay. Can we tell if there's any other skeletons in the rough vicinity?
You could do a seek action. You could do a seek, but I think you've probably used all your actions for this. Hanera could do a
Oh yeah, this is for Hanera.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so she's gonna do a seek. Yeah, 16.
16. I mean, maybe there's like plenty of rocks and stuff around that skeletons could potentially be behind, and you can't quite see yet. But you didn't see like any large formations of them before, so these are just stragglers.
Okay. Fuck it. She's angry. She's wet. She's just gonna drop a fireball on them.
Yeah, fair enough. So reflex saves.
Yeah, DC 25 reflex save.
All bar the last one were a fail.
Okay, so either 26 or 13.
So 26, 26, and then half 13. So these 2 back ones, they explode and their bones shatter, and they are no longer around.
Cool.
And then this one is going to 2 actions to get over here.
Can I hit him?
Yeah, go ahead.
He came within range. Let's do this one. Damn it. 23?
23, that hits.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
Positive damage, so... Oh.
3 damage. Plus splash.
It's yeah, and it's positive as well. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's enough. Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, so having walked over here, you managed to get the last one. There seems to be a bit of it seems to be a bit clearer now, and you can continue on. Isolde Mayan is like, I hate bridges so much.
Nera probably hates it more. That's 2 now that she's fallen off.
Quick, we must continue before any more of these stragglers notice us. Onwards.
All right.
Okay.
I'll recall Hank from across the river.
Yeah, Hank is just like sat on the other side. Okay, so you've crossed over the river. So it is still desert for a little bit. Still part of this cursed desert. Who knows what dangers might be around here. But that's the first third of your journey done for the day. So you can get as Isolde Mayan says, we're still within our chances of getting to the inn tonight.
All right, well, it's pretty warm here, so I'm sure an area will dry up. So let's crack on.
I can provide you with some new clothes as we walk. I brought some just in case.
That's actually very smart.
Wait,
Well,
get changed while you're walking?
well,
Yeah.
she could pop in a bush.
It's a hot day. You'll dry off quite quickly. To be fair.
She's got armor on.
Your armor might get rusty. Yeah, while you look. So yeah, you continue on. Can someone make me a perception check to lead the way?
Sure.
Isolde Mayan's doing a navigation or survival work.
Perception time. 31.
Cool. Well, the path seems clear for now, so you've got a little bit of time if there's anything. But yeah, you begin to traverse into it begins to become more of a hilly kind of uplands, mountainous type of desert. There's a lot more greenery which starts to present itself, and a lot more. It looks less like the area you've just been in, and more like what you're used to from Elven lands. As you traverse through this bit. You don't notice any in terms of soldiers or anything around. Whether there are scouts and they just haven't come across you yet, or whether there just aren't in this area. But you continue on, and eventually you get to the main road. That crossing it would be out of the territory. As the sun is beginning to set, there is a tavern, just like a strange little. It's almost like an elven old tower that has been added to over years. So it's got a little wall around it. It's got a cozy kind of atmosphere. There's fire, a firelight coming from the inside. A couple of elves are sat outside, but there's also a number of carts and soldiers from the Ignis troops. Just drinking outside, eating. A few people camped outside.
I'm gonna keep my hood down until we get into the inn.
Hood up.
Hood up, head down. Kind of thing.
That's fine. Yeah, Isolde says, be careful here. Just don't give away where we've been.
There's nobody going to be here that we might have run into before.
I have no way of telling that.
I swear to God, if he's here,
Maybe somebody goes in first.
I would prefer not to go in first. Maybe. Well, that said, maybe. Actually, if I head in first, I can message you all. if it's safe.
Isolde laughs and she says, "We are members of the Savas now."
Perhaps, but I fear that some of our savory people we met would see right through that pretty quickly. It'll only take a moment. If you...
Very well. If you wish to act suspicious, then go for it.
Well, would it be suspicious? No.
For us to not go join at the same time, I don't know. Maybe.
She's got a point. This is even if we've got an orc, we've got a human, we've got 2 humans, an orc here. If one of us goes in one at a time, it's going to draw suspicion.
Fine.
If we move in quickly and get into rooms quickly, it's not going to raise much fuss.
No, that is fine. I am overthinking this one. Let's just go.
Okay.
Okay. So one by one, is Joanne here?
No.
Oh, right. It's just I saw Joanne's cursor on the thing. But it's you,
Oh,
it's you.
that's me. Hello.
Okay. All right. So one by one, you go into the inn. It's cozy. It's cozy inside. Where? Yeah. So as you enter the inn, there's a number of it's mostly soldiers, to be honest, around here, eating, drinking, laughing. The barkeeper, who is this kind of older elf, looks a bit nervous. And you notice that a couple of the soldiers are like eating and drinking in a big corner of the table, and like a couple of them have must either be the daughters or like the bar girls of the bar, like sat with them, looking kind of uncomfortable. But like one of the soldiers is like, "Come on, sit my lap." But you shuffle in, keeping your head down. Obviously, a lot of the soldiers immediately turn and look to see the eclectic mix of people that come. But the High Curator produces a badge, like it's kind of got like wings, with like a sort of elven symbol in the center. It's quite hard to see. And she just flashes at them, and they all just immediately start looking down. Back to their business. She goes over to the barkeep, as the barkeep sort of nervously looks over to her and says, "Sorry, Curator, we have no rooms available. They've been taken by the soldiers." And she says, "Is there really nowhere we can stay?" He says, "No, I don't think so. You might be able to stay on the grounds, but there's other soldiers there." She turns and looks over to you all. It seems like there's quite a lot of people coming through here. But this is the last place we could stay comfortably for a while. We could try and see if a soldier would allow us to take their room. It'll cost us.
Is there not like an outhouse or
An outhouse?
a stable?
You want to sleep at the outhouse? You can sleep at the outhouse. Is that what you're saying to the barkeep?
Yes. Is there room in the inn? Just a tiny bit more.
There's there is the stables, but it's got a couple of Kiraxes in there at the moment.
That doesn't sound pleasant to sleep with. That's putting it mildly.
Isolde Mayan turns around and says, "Excuse me, everyone. Is there anyone here who is willing to part with their room? An old lady needs some good rest." And a kind of gruff soldier at the corner of the room, keeping himself to himself, is like away from the rest of the soldiers who are kind of trying to be a bit naughty. He says, I'll take that offer. And Isolde produces a small little bag of gold, or like coins, and throws it over to him. Very well. And she turns to the rest of you and says, "Well, I'm sorted."
I'm fine sleeping uncomfortably for the night. Haven't taken any hard knocks.
Can I try and do a persuasion check to stay in the room with her? Diplomacy check, maybe?
Sure. If that's what your suggestion is going to be, go ahead.
Yes.
So what are you saying?
He goes, I appreciate you clearly have a lot of skill at getting what you need. Is there any chance I could sleep on your bed?
She laughs and says, "The charisma you humans have is outrageous. Unfortunately, we're not supposed to mix like that."
Oh, come on, who's going to know? It's just one night.
It's the rules. I don't break my oath very easily, I'm afraid.
Oh, what about a chair in the corner or the floor? I take it.
I feel like the chair's more creepy.
Yeah, very well. If you want to sleep in the corner of the room, but no funny business.
Excellent. Well, I will see you all tomorrow morning. He kind of does a quick bow to the party and starts going up the stairs.
Cyan's gonna give Calcifer a look of like, did that really just happen?
Yeah, I guess he's a misnomer.
Right, so it's just so it's it's four of you now, Henning, and then Hanera, and then you two.
I'm going to find somewhere less comfy to sleep that's out of the way, I think.
How about we go set the cabin up on a little ways out?
That sounds like an idea.
Get back here for breakfast.
As you're standing by the bar, door opens. A couple of more soldiers come in, as well as a voice that you do recognize. Finally boasting about like a whole bunch of things he's been doing. It's Thranduilon.
Oh.
You have an opportunity, obviously, to make yourself scarce before he notices you. But he comes in and says, "And yes, Herazdan, been there, taken that, Anuna. Soon I'll be the Lord of Theron myself." And so a couple of them like, "Oh, that's very mighty impressive of you to betray your people." But the cocky elf goes over to the table. As you are all sort of sneaking out, you notice he goes over to the table where where the barkeeper's daughters are, and the number of guards, and he sits down next to them, and he says, "Mighty fine hall we have here tonight." And a couple of the soldiers sort of like clink beers, clink glasses. The barkeeper is sort of now sweating a little bit. Anyway, so you leave. Whereabouts are you? So are you going as well, Henning, with them?
Yep.
Cool. So whereabouts are you gonna make camp then?
I think maybe just like somewhere like maybe a few hundred meters away from the inn.
Okay.
Somewhere, yeah, a little bit of privacy, so it's not just like, oh well, we've set up our own inn next to your inn.
Blackjack.
Yeah, with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, just a little bit of privacy.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Cool. In that case, yeah. So you just find a little spot to camp in, make a little fire. There's a few soldiers nearby, but they seem to be keeping to themselves. They don't want to come over and bother you.
Yeah, and then yeah, cast the cozy cabin.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, you managed to find a nice little spot there. Then, in that case, anything else anyone wants to do during the night? As you get up to the room, Cascus, Isolde Mayan, after one of the soldiers clears all his stuff out, it's like a single bed, and then in the far side of the room there's just like a fucking pile of something to sleep on if you want.
Cool.
Curl up in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
She says, as she's sort of like just getting ready for bed and just sort of sat on the side of it, she says, "Do you often ask to join single ladies up in their rooms?"
Well, only if they are as charming as you, of course.
She raises an eyebrow. We've known each other for 2 days, and in that time we raised an undead army together.
I know. Think what we could do with just one more night. Hmm?
Must resist bone joke.
Make me another diplomacy check. She seems not amazingly pleased about that one.
It's 18.
Yeah, she says, and for that I think you can sleep in the corridor. Good night. She gets into bed and turns over.
Oh, well, he's not done anything, so I'm just going to sleep here.
I want to.
Is that your? Is that okay? So you're just gonna
He's
like curl up.
he's really still and doesn't do anything.
All
I
right.
wanna
So
imagine he's
Remain
saying that out
immaculately
loud.
still. You will not.
Elv's vision is based on movement.
And then it just like, yeah, if she says anything, I'm gonna like ready just to like immediately like do a kind of fake snore.
Oh my god.
is that what you're holding out? for?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you managed to fall asleep. At some point during the night, you sort of turn over and she's just literally just standing above you, looking at you.
Yeah.
Are you like, yeah? The only way you could have told that is if you woke up. Are you gonna like immediately pretend like you're sleeping all along?
Yeah.
Okay. She just grabs you and just throws you out.
At strength check.
Are you gonna resist it? Are you gonna fight her?
This is getting.
If you're resisting it, she's gonna consider you you're hostile.
No, we'll get thrown out.
Okay. She just throws you out and then slams the door shut.
Okay, can you knock on the next door's door, please?
Oh my god, he's so pathetic.
Hello, can I sleep in your room?
All right. Yeah. So you knock on the next door's door. After a couple of moments, a very angry, sleepy elf Ignis soldier opens the door. Says, "What you want?" Actually, he just says something in Elvish.
Cascus throws him like a couple coins and just like does the like sleep hand thing against his face.
Okay. The soldier. How many coins are you throwing?
How many have I got? A couple silver.
A couple of silver. That's probably how much he spent for the room.
And he's already had half the night.
Yeah.
So it's like...
He's been woken up for someone basically not giving a very good offer. I'll say that if you want, you can do a diplomacy check, but it'll be let me just look at the simple DCs. It'll be a master task to try and convince someone to give up their room halfway through the night by paying them the same amount.
Cost.
And without knowing if they speak common or not.
It's a good thing I'm a master.
Without-
I'm an expert. I'm an expert. Obviously, it's not a master.
Well, this is so the DC will be
Can
30.
well, if I fail, can I just give him some more money?
You can give him as much money as you want, but now, I mean, like you may failing the check may potentially piss him off.
Look, so I'm sensing a little curled lip because he's not appreciating the 2 silver.
No.
So I'm just gonna like and pull out a gold coin and add it to the pile.
His lip curls slightly less.
Slightly less. Another gold coin.
Okay, now he smiles.
Okay.
It takes.
I high five him. We go to the room.
He takes his stuff and then leaves.
Oh, I was gonna say he could come in as well, but that's all right.
He definitely does not want to sleep with you in his room. You're just a rando person. Imagine you have a hotel, someone knocks on the door and says, "I'll pay you like 40 quid to leave right now." But he's foreigner.
Just like before I go to bed, I'm just gonna knock on the door where Ysolda's still there, just to annoy her.
Okay.
Like the wall, you know.
You're gonna get a curse if you're not careful.
That's okay.
Okay.
Rude.
All right. Okay. So yeah, you manage to get some sleep. The rest of you, quite a chill night in the cozy cottage thing. Anything anyone wants to do before the next day?
Hanera's hospitable hut.
Cyan is going to ask Calcifer and Henning. So Thranduilon's there.
Yeah. Don't
Should
do
we-
anything stupid.
I wasn't thinking of doing anything stupid, but do you think maybe we could find out what's going on with Cadell? If he's alive.
If you can think of a way to do it without us getting killed.
As much as I would like to know, I think it's probably best for all of us. He has no idea we're here.
We saw he has a shade steel weapon, didn't we? Or was that someone else?
No, it was one of his guards.
He's probably got shades. He's probably got shade steel wielders with him. There's a lot more of them than there are us. If they want to start shit, then a fancy badge or not, good chance we're not coming out the right end of that. And for what?
Nix pipes up and says, I don't think Isolde Mayan knows that the person who knows whether Cadell is alive or dead is here, though.
Should probably let her know. She would probably have a better idea as to what to do.
Though if we tell her now, emotions might get the better of her.
Fuck. And then she might also despise us for not letting her know later.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you see out of the
sky
cozy
away.
cottage? Does it have windows?
Small square glass windows.
Cool.
I could probably send her a message.
From here?
Well, it's got a pretty far range, but I think considering the walls and not knowing exactly where she is might mess with it a little bit. No, she can only respond to me if she can see me.
She's probably gone to sleep now.
It doesn't say that I need to see it though.
No, they just
Yeah.
have to. If you know them and they're within range, it's fine. But I think if you don't know them, but you have to see them.
It's pretty late. Should I maybe message her in the morning?
Yeah, probably best. Well,
Alright,
she ain't gonna sleep much if do that now, is she?
I'll do it first thing in the morning.
You watch Nyx sat in the cottage, in the cottage, just like looking out one of the windows, and you notice like her form is like weirdly like flickering, Like
Please form, sorry, you cut out.
Nyx's.
Oh.
As she's watching like the tower and the actual inn in the distance, she says, "I feel funny," and then she starts flickering in and out of existence and sort of also turning into like all sorts of spiky shapes. Just for
Like
a
last
second,
time.
essentially.
Oh, fuck. Any idea what's going on?
I don't know. You all begin. So out the window, as you go over to where Nyx is watching, you notice that as in the moonlight, like a thick fog has descended on the tower.
Is that
Um,
normal fog?
I don't think it is.
Oh.
Do you think it's the old McYellow fucker?
Old McYellow.
To this.
Nyx Nyx at this point is sort of like unable to really like talk properly. Like every time she tries to say something, she just glitches too much, and then it just gets cut off. Eventually, she just disappears.
Do we go?
Next.
Do we go check it out?
Fuck. I'm gonna head out, see if I can spot anything.
Right, I'm coming with you. Let's stick close.
Well,
Okay.
I don't want to be here alone.
Well, then fucking everyone comes.
Okay. Right. If it is this yellow stabby guy, then you're gonna want to be next to me. So yeah, keep close.
I'm gonna send Cascus a message.
Okay.
Hold up.
Cascus is asleep.
Firstly,
Oh.
Cascus is asleep, but you can still send him a message. It may wake him up.
We'll go to voicemail.
Yeah, when he wakes up.
No, I'll hold off on it for now,
Okay.
in case it's a false alarm.
And
So
also, why would you want to disturb his sleep? It's so rude.
Yeah, because Cascus is known for caring for everyone.
Not really.
All right, so you make your way out of the cozy cottage and you start walking closer towards the inn. There's obviously a bunch of tents around, and like everyone seems to be inside the tent. There's a couple of guards outside the indoors, in the indoors. But as you approach them, you notice that they're very still. Like you just are walking down the main sort of causeway into the towards the main gate where the inn goes into. A couple of guards that are stood there. As you get closer and closer, you actually realize that they're like pinned to the wall. Like there's something that has impaled them and has like just sort of pinned them to the wall, stood up, like, and they're just sort of like slumped over with these like two black pins or black rocks or something that have been pushed through them.
Fuck.
Do they just look like
I'm
basic soldiers?
Yeah, they just look like basic soldiers.
I'm going to just barge through the door and see. Not barge through. I'm going to open it slowly and see if I can spot anything as I.
Yeah,
slowly
like,
open
are you being stealthy?
Yeah.
All right, make a stealth check. The rest of you also.
Yeah, I would be following.
I'm going to
shortly
use
behind,
a
so-
legend point on this.
Have you used a legend point? Have you used legend point this session?
No.
Okay,
Wait, have I? Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you may
Okay.
have.
Well, I
Okay,
will say I'm right behind you, and I have +0 to stealth.
All right.
So,
I'll just do a regular stealth then. Come on.
Okay. And Henning as well, please.
And Hanera, I guess, as
And
well.
yeah, and Hanera.
Unless we just leave her out because she's not here. Or...
unless-
That's interesting. She didn't seem pleased that Hanera was involved. That was after I'd said she was currently drowning, so a bit biased. Obviously, up to you whether to leave her out.
I think it'd probably be best to bring Hanera.
Okay.
because you would anyway. Like you would have just told it. Like otherwise, it's Matt.
Yeah.
Like Hanera would be with you.
Oh fuck.
Okay, so walking through the inn, you hear like a sort of faint whispering. Someone saying, "Please, please, if it's to do with with Cadell, I didn't know it was going to happen like that. I didn't realize." As you sort of round the corner, you see this hulking figure with a yellow cloak, with in his mighty hand wrapped around Thranduilon's neck, sort of lifting him off the floor. All the people, the guards, and the soldiers that were in this inn before, there are now just like black marbles just rolling across the floor, and you see it over into the distance. The barkeeper and a couple of his daughters are like cowering in the corner, just like as far away as possible, and they sort of look over to you as you enter. You only see the back of who you assume is the assassin in yellow. But you recognize him from your previous encounter. And in his other hand, that isn't currently lifting Thranduilon off the floor, is an extremely long, jagged, black shade steel blade, which seems to have grown in size since you last saw it. As he holds Thranduilon over it, he says, "More blades. More." He says, "You've taken all of them. We don't have any more here." And he says, "Then die." And then he just crushes, like snaps Thranduilon's neck, and just like throws him on the ground, and just like as he turns around and throws Thranduilon on the ground, limp, lifeless. You see the blue tones of his skin, like the sort of glowing eyes, and the snarl he has, peer out the corner of his cloak. Turns around, he just sort of looks over at you in a moment. What do you do? He's not made any machinations towards you yet.
I look to the others and I just kind of hold my hands out in a kind of a clearly you've got stuff going on. We're fine. Kind of motion, like a we didn't know what was going on.
You do you, hun. We'll go.
So, right, make a diplomacy check then, Cyan.
Okay. Oh fuck.
What? Oh.
He turns around and sniffs in the air a little bit. And looks over at you. Hanera is sort of in the doorway. She's obviously got like clothes on covering over the hex weave. But you can tell that's entirely where he's looking, like towards Hanera and towards her chest. He raises out his hand and says, "Power." And we'll leave it off there, maybe for the session.
All right.
Okay. Oh fuck, we're fucked. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, the implication is that he's just killed several people with shade steel blades. So
Try saying that 5 times fast.
The implication is
several shade steel blades, several shade steel
several shade blades.
All right, thanks for playing, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for running.
Thanks. See ya next week, viewers in yellow. I'm trying. Okay.